The Fusion page is where you create all your motion graphics, visual effects, animations and much more. In fact, some of the effects you see on the edit page are actually Fusion effects, which you can recreate here from scratch. You can do anything in the Fusion page. At first glance, Fusion can seem overwhelming, intimidating, but it's also incredibly powerful. The good news is there are some tools here that we already know from other pages. The inspector window, the media pool, and the effects library. Although the effects look a bit different in Fusion. You can also display your clips from the timeline to ensure you're working on the right one. On the right, you'll see a monitor that shows your final composition, and underneath we have something called nodes. You can inspect these nodes by dragging them into the left monitor, but first let's look at what nodes actually are. This is usually the hardest part of Fusion to grasp, especially if you're coming from After Effects, where you work with layers. In Fusion, you work with nodes. Think of nodes as building blocks. Each one performs a single task. You connect nodes to pass image data from one to the next, like a flowchart, where your footage or input flows through the node tree. This flow can go left to right, top to bottom, or however you decide to wire it. The arrowhead shows the direction of that flow. Whenever you create a Fusion composition, you'll always need a MediaIn node. If you've come from the edit page, this node is already there. Otherwise, just drag and drop your footage from the media pool into the node area and it will create a MediaIn node automatically. This is your image input. You can add new nodes by pressing Ctrl Space and searching for the one you need. Another essential node in every Fusion composition is the MediaOut node. This one generates the output and sends it back to the edit page. And you'll always need to connect your input to your output. Everything else you do in Fusion happens between these two nodes. So if you just want to add some simple effects to your input, place the effect nodes between MediaIn and MediaOut. The order here is really important because each node takes its input from whatever comes before it. For example, if I add some text and want to zoom in slightly, I have two options. I can add the zoom before the text node and the zoom will only affect the background, or I add it after the text node and the text gets zoomed into. If you want to combine multiple image sources or apply different effects to different clips, you'll use a merge node. You can think of it like layering in After Effects. The merge node has three connection points: yellow for the background input, green for the foreground, and a blue one for masks. So if you have several elements, you can apply your effects separately and then connect them using the merge node. One of the great things about Fusion is how easy it is to rewire or reuse parts of the node setup. This makes your workflow much faster and more flexible, so it really pays off to learn how the system works. But for now, let's leave the Fusion page and move on to the color page.